Welcome, Guardians of Yuna, and welcome to Arabia. This is kind of the grand staple for all of Age of Empires 2, and if you are familiar with the Age of Empires 2 gaming scene, this is kind of everybody's starred map on the ranked ladder. Well, for me, I'm still kind of learning the game, right? You can see my elo on screen, only 1103. Not terrible, considering I've only been playing the game about a year, and I don't really have an RTS background, but at the same time, an average elo player. So what we have here is me in the red with the Hindustanis, Magyars for Mr. John Goo Monster, or Tech as he is so aptly called. And you know what? We're going to correct that because for some reason it didn't fix it. So we'll just call him Tech. Cool. There you go. Now let's get into this game, okay? So the thing about this game was I thought I had it finished early, and then something showed up. And then I thought I had it finished again, and then it just kept on going. And it got to the point to where, you know what? You'll see. I am going to play this in double time because this is a bit of a long game. But yeah, we'll see. So standard start here with the Hindustanis. And let me be clear here. I don't really play with the Hindustanis, right? Like, I know some of their bonuses that you get. The Imperial Camel, which is awesome. Their cavalry destroys buildings faster. Their unique unit, the Gulam, a bit underwhelming to be honest with you, but at the end of the day, still a decent raiding unit, especially if you're playing against an archer civ, right? So for me, I was like, okay, I know they get Hussar, so I can definitely raid. And I'm going against a Magyar player, so I need to have something like camels in case he goes cavalry of some sort, right? So that's kind of my plan. I'm going to go into Hussar and camels. Well, we'll see how that goes. So standard start here for me, pushing in deer, pushing in, get my rhino, got 3 on wood. The zebra goes back. The zebra goes back. And when that happens, it throws my whole rhythm off over here. And you'll notice here in a second, you'll notice my worker efficiency absolutely tanks. So yeah, not great. But let's take a look at our opponent. Building his third house, pulling in his second rhino, pushing in an ostrich while luring the rhino. Well done, Tech. Very good. Very good. Taking a straggler tree a little early, that's fine. And guess what? The ostriches. And I don't know why the ostriches so aptly referred to as birds. If you played Ark before, or if you've played Conan Exiles before, which I'm a big fan of both of those games, be ready for Ark Ascended coming out here pretty soon. There's birds there. Birds are dicks. All right, so we got the mill up. We have our house going up. And I'm getting ready to click up here to the feudal age with scouts in mind. I plan on going scouts. I'm going to drop a second lumber camp. Lots of wood up on the top side there, so I have plenty of wood to be able to work with here. I'm assuming he's going scouts as well, so I kind of prepare for that. I kind of think about how I'm going to wall this out, and he runs under the TC. Sorry about yourself, Tech. Sorry, buddy. So I'm starting to scout his base a little bit. I see him going out to berries. He tried to poke me. How dare you try to poke me like that? That's not very nice. Don't poke the horsey guy. And he tried to shoot my horsey. I ran away. That's fine. Scout lives to fight another day. He has a beautiful wood line over here. This is a completely wallable wood line. The whole left side of his map is completely closed off from me. So what does he expect I'm going to do? He expects I'm going to go to the right. So I start making my scouts here pretty soon. I've got my stable going up here. Still collecting sheep underneath, which is great. The faster working or the cheaper vills is really, really paying off here. We're both at the same villager count, and our idle TC time is actually decent, kind of around the same age, same little era there, the 22 seconds or so. I'm actually pretty proud of that because that's always been one of my things about, you know, struggling a little bit in this game itself is idle TC. There's so many things you got to do, and you'll notice that'll climb up very quickly. Like I caught myself. Oh, I'm raiding? I forgot to make villagers. That's not good. So here we go. I start sending my scouts forward a little bit as I'm working on my eco, having them kind of push forward, start making some farms. I figured, you know, he is going to make some spears, so let me get a couple of skirmishers out, and we're going to start raiding a little bit. He decides to drop a second lumber camp. Villager count, I'm ahead by 1, and that's probably just due to the idle TC time that we have here. I notice he's kind of walled up a little bit. That was me not controlling my military properly. You know, again, 1100 elo things. Got a nice little wall going. You know I'm going to go skirmishers here, so since I saw the range, so I know I'm going to start to go skirmishers here, so I get the archer armor. I want to make sure that they're well off. He walls off the wood line here after he saw my scouts, but there's still the hole there. And he knows it. He knows it's there. Does he know it's there? Yeah. Kinda. Sorta. Yeah, I guess he does. He did scout it, so he does know it. So I start sending my people forward. There we go. He's got a lot of archers. I sent some skirms to their death. That lion chased me from halfway around the map. That lion was determined to make sure that I didn't see the light of day. So he's only on 1 archery range, but he is making archers pretty constantly there. Obviously, it's kind of tank now as he's kind of doing things. And there's my idle TC time, right? You see my idle TC time going up. Still being annoying with my scouts. I'm at 38 villagers, so I got 2 villagers ahead. Feeling pretty confident right now. He does send a couple scouts forward, but I'm not too worried about it, you know. I feel pretty walled up. I feel like my defense is pretty decent here. My worker efficiency isn't fantastic, but I still feel okay, right? I decided to go ahead and get wheelbarrow. He already has it. He's got fletching. And this is where I kind of start to raid a little bit. I bring my skirmishers in. I kill a couple of villagers. He kills a couple of scouts. I'm still dancing around a little bit with these skirmishers. He does pull his scout forward to take out my skirms, but I am on the way to Castle Age, about a minute ahead of our opponent here, so not too terrible. I retreat with my skirmishers. I continue to add eco behind. Drop a couple of more stables because I am going to go into light cav. Since he is pushing into archers here, I just was going to go skirm light cav to kind of get started. And then I can always transition into camels if he decided to transition into knights. And that was kind of the plan going into this. And it felt pretty good. Like, I felt like I was in a really good spot. My score was about the same as his. Hitting Castle Age, I dropped my first TC. And I start to continue to produce villagers. I get elite skirm because of all the archers that he has. Even though his scouts decide to just make quick work of all of my skirms. Mainly because I don't know how to, like, I don't know, make a spearman or 2. Okay, that being said. All right, drop the TC. I get bloodlines. I get light cav. Start producing a couple of more scouts. I produce a camel to deal with his scouts. He gets crossbow. And this is where things get kind of interesting. He immediately drops a university. And I was really concerned. I knew he had a ball of archers. I didn't think he had that many. I didn't realize he was on 2 TCs. He starts to wall up a little bit. He drops a university and immediately gets ballistics. And I didn't know he had ballistics at this time. This was a huge find. And I'm actually going to back up a little bit here. And I forgot this happened right there. I thought this happened a little bit earlier. So let's back up. And we'll stop there. Pause. Okay. Here's one thing I really appreciated about this game. And this doesn't always happen because people on the internet are just terrible people. Everybody on the internet is awful. And whenever you play a game like this and something bad happens, the first thing that people do is just absolutely lose their mind and get incredibly toxic. Here's what happens whenever I run over here. I went back to this side because I knew this hole was here. And I wanted to get into his wood line. I knew I could do that if I came to this side. But lo and behold, I run into him building a TC. And the slaughter begins. I take out so many. And instead of him getting toxic, he throws the boo, boo, which I thought was hilarious. The luck. That's right. He was very talkative in this game. But man, he sends 2 more villagers because when they finish building this, they go to do that because of video game logic. And all of this is going so well for me, right? Like I sneak around, I kill this archer, and I'm like, man, this game's almost over. This game is almost over. I denied his TC. I'm on 2 TCs. I'm constantly making villagers. I know I'm ahead in villagers. God, I felt good. Walling up a little bit, and this shows up. This shows up in my wood line, and I have no way to defend myself. I immediately drop a siege workshop, and I retreat. I send all my gold villagers to go back here. I retreat and pull all my villagers either into the TC or back here. Of course, I lose a couple because I don't know how to manage my economy and everything properly. I lost all my scouts. Eventually. I make a Scorpion. Scorpion takes care of the first group. He tries to bob and weave a little bit there. But I've got 16 villager kills to his 2 right now. I didn't know it was that bad. I thought he killed a lot more. I really did. I didn't realize that's all he killed. I'm like, okay, if he's going to bring a big ball of archers like that, I have to do something. So I made some camels to kind of deal with some scouts a little bit. You know, I had some extra food and extra gold kind of floating around. Obviously, I'm floating a ton of gold right now. So I figured, you know what? We're going to drop a castle. We're going to continue making gold, or farming gold rather. I'm going to make some extra skirms to deal with this. I'm going to chase his military around. He's not going to be able to kind of hide from me. I did not know this was coming from the north. He did this all game long. He would send units around to wherever I wasn't constantly. And he did it all game. There's one, there's another, there's another. Now it's 16-5. And instead, I'm idling my eco, right? I'm idling, I'm panicking a little bit. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I do drop a 3rd TC at the front. He's already on 4 TCs. I do have a huge villager lead, so I did feel really good about where I was economy-wise. I got my castle up. I start making some golems to raid with, also to kind of deal with the archers a little bit. And I start throwing everybody on stone. I did get Grand Trunk Road. I did want to have the ability to get extra gold. Couple big shots with the mangonel there. Taking care of that. He took care of that, but then he just kind of camped around the gold. We're at 16-8 villager lead here. He comes back. I have to send my camels back over here to deal with this. And the knights are in here. The knights are trying to do damage. He did get distracted. Again, 1100 elo things. So yeah, we're just kind of dealing with stuff at this point. A little bit of market use there. Not too much on either side. I mean, the prices for it stayed pretty strong all the way throughout the most of the game. But he just kind of kept coming with 1s and 2s. Look, more archers on this side. And this guy, I never noticed. I don't know why those guys, I guess I didn't patrol them properly or something, but again, he just kind of camps here. 16-3 eco lead. This guy over here, just chilling. I didn't even notice it. He was there for a while, had to be there for a while. Just being annoying, just sitting there. I go raid a little bit more on the other side over here. He doesn't react very quickly, but I kept sending light cabin his way. He has the eco KD lead right now, and he has the eco lead. I think I do even it up here in just a second, but yeah, really annoying. He cleared out the wood line, or at least pushed me away. I finally got somebody over there to deal with it. He did move out and start kind of expanding off to the sides here. But and then he starts dropping towers. And that was really annoying. Throughout the rest of the game, really, really annoying. So I'm at 90 villagers. He's at 96. I got plenty of gold. And then at this point, I kind of figured out, okay, I just need to kind of camp around a little bit. I'm going to start kind of figuring out where his people are not. I get a lot more villagers here on this side. I still have the eco KD lead at this point. And for the remainder of the game, he's in catch-up mode. He is constantly trying to, I guess, check out these shorefish. I mean, oh, they're turtles. They're watching the turtles. They're like, hey, you're green, I'm green, we're both green. Let's watch turtles together. So yeah, now we're down here and we're still killing more villagers. Every time he sent somebody out here, which it looks like he had a waypoint set. So it looks like, let's see. Yep, every time. And then they finally made it because I'm a dum-dum and pulled that away. I drop a 4th TC at this point. I've got 105 villagers, still making villagers. He's still on archers at this stage in the game, so I start to drop more archery ranges. And at this point in the game, and I'm going to speed up a little bit more. At this point in the game, he did everything he could to counter, but he could never mass enough to make damage. And I knew if I got Hussar, I can just constantly create. He wasn't able to get into my eco at all. So it was just stay ahead. It was constantly stay ahead. Keep raiding, stay ahead. Figure out where he wasn't, stay ahead. He did send in a few Magyar Hussar. I did bring out some Trebs and start trying to knock some stuff down. It came into, you know, Gulam raids. I got chemistry. I was able to get Bombard Cannon. But man, I'll tell you, these Magyar Hussars wreck siege. Like it was so bad. Like these guys would run around and they would just wreck siege. Granted, they get kind of poked pretty hard by camels, but I drop a defensive castle in the back. He drops a couple more castles. I make some more siege. And then at this point, I kind of start pushing him. And it was Hussar raid after Hussar raid kind of going forward. I had Gulams to kind of help out here and there. I had skirmishers to help out. He would transition into a different unit. I would transition into a different unit. And it was, he couldn't keep up or he couldn't get ahead. So Bombard Cannon starts coming out. He comes over here to drop this castle. He sends in, I wall off. I thought that was pretty decent. I wall off the pathway, making it harder for his units to come through. I did sit under the castle fire thinking my Gulams would be able to take it, and they didn't take it very well. They get wrecked by cavalry. Like I really don't like Hindustanis. Like really not feeling Hindustanis, to be honest with you. So I take this castle out. I immediately turn my fire onto this castle. And then it's Hussar after Hussar. I did transition into hand cannons at one point because he started bringing out a bunch of halberdier to deal with all the Hussar. So there's pikemen. He starts transitioning into chainmail armor. I start dropping more stables. Pathing issues because, you know, DE pathing, but that's fine. Hussar continue to Hussar, and we get more villager kills. 71 to 32, 72 to 75 to 33 eco KD at this point. I continue to mass and I continue to spend resources. I still float a ton of gold at this point, but I think that kind of gets cleared up. I start transitioning into, because he had Cavalier, I went ahead and said, okay, cool. Now I think I can go ahead and get my camels out. And that's kind of where we ended up with that. Realized all of this was over here as well. And I think, did I do it? Let's see. I tried to. Let me see. Doink, 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 doink. Yeah, I doinked me some farms. That was cool. I thought that was clever. He had placed the farms and didn't do it. And if you're unaware, the farms are like the only building that other players can see whenever you actually place the foundation for. Like if I was to place an archery range, I won't see the foundation until you start to build it. But farms, they instantly show. They have 1 HP when you place them, and you can just come up and just take a swipe at them and take them out. He kept bringing out some Magyar Hussars, which kept taking out my cannons, which was really annoying. Wasn't really appreciating that, but I did clear all this up over here. And again, with the extra bonus damage that Hussars and cavalry get on buildings, like they kind of melt pretty quickly, to be honest with you. Hand cannons come out to kind of deal with that. And again, at this point in the game, he was very talkative. Like he gets to the point to where he's like, man, I've been trying to play catch up. How come you're being so mean? You don't let me catch up. All those fun things. So it was actually really fun. I'm being attacked by a puppy right now, so I apologize. So I bring out more trebs, start trying to take out his buildings. He transitions into two-handed swordsman, and I still got hand cannons kind of floating around. He did a really good job again of trying to raid all around the area, and it was kind of annoying. Like I could never focus on just one space. He did get in here and take out a lot of these trebs, which is really annoying. I was hoping that like the camels and the Imperial camels would do a lot of work, but they really didn't do any work. He took out all my trebs because I didn't have my hand cannons in the right position. And again, 1100 elo things. 1100 elo things. Map control, army control, macro control, like all of that. I am very proud of that worker efficiency though. Like I did a good job about keeping my eco running. He tried to send, see, stop being so mean. Tech, you are awesome, man. I really appreciate you in this game. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we had a good time, man. Since you killed 30 vills, yeah. I didn't kill 30 vills until later in the game. This kind of sat over here for a little while, mainly because I was focused on trying to get out of that. I did start sending, he starts to ball him up over here. I noticed this at some point, and I don't remember how. Oh, my ghouls. I sent my ghouls over there. My wife says I have a soothing voice. YouTube, I hope you appreciate my soothing voice. So, yeah, the light cap continue to raid. Everything continues to raid. We're going to fast forward a little bit further through this game. Again, more raiding here. More raiding there. I find the gold over here. He says I'm no fun. He's trying to come back, and you're trying to take my gold, bro. I get up here and get into this, and I think this is about when he just now gets supplies. T90, we're welcome to have you back on Twitch, buddy. Congrats. We continue to raid. We continue to raid. We continue to raid. I drop more stables, and I believe this is where he calls the GG. There it is. All right, guys. Hey, I really appreciate it. I want to let you guys know Holly Jolly Christmas Cup is going on right now. The tournament started this week officially. We will be casting on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Guardians of Yuna. We hope to see you guys there. Also, check out in the description our Extra Life event, which is taking place now, and give me some feedback. One of my first videos. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these type of things, mainly because AoE2, we love this game. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.